welcome to the video. My hair's in my face. Hi guys, welcome to the video. This is a crazy one. Why are my hands like that? Before I moved to Canada, I genuinely had no clue about anything ski related. Genuinely. The reason I moved to Canada was not for the ski season. It was just to go to Canada and to be closer to music festivals. I didn't know anything, and that is so fine. If you are like, hey, I really want to do this, but I literally have no clue, trust me, that is totally fine. I'm going to tell you the most simplest of things. There was one thing that I was just like fully stuck on and confused about, and I'm going to share that in this video because I'm sure that there's someone else that is having the same thoughts as me, and I'm going to share that a little later, so stay tuned for that. Actually, while I've paused you, if you need any help with getting your IEC visa, which is obviously the first part to getting over to Canada, I have my working holiday ebook, so make sure that you check that out. That's in the link below. So firstly, usually the ski resorts are owned by one company, and then that company has multiple different departments. The main ones that work on the mountain are lifties, ski school, and food and beverage. And then they also own other departments, which is like retail, rental, ticket scanning, cleaning, that kind of thing. So it depends what department you're in for whether you'll be working actually on the mountain, because you have the mountain and then you have the valley. So if you want to work on mountain, those are the jobs that you're looking for. Then in terms of food and beverage, even if you get put in food and beverage, that doesn't mean you're definitely going to be on the mountain, because they have venues off mountain as well. But usually if you got an entry level role and you're in food and beverage, most of the time you're going to be in a mountain venue, which is awesome, which is so great. So I'm going to focus mainly on lifties and food and beverage because they're the two biggest departments, I would say, and the two that I know most about. There's two options for getting to work on the mountain, and they depend on your venue, and if you're a lifty, it depends on the spot that you're stationed on for the day. The options is either you catch a gondola or you're riding. So for food and beverage, if you can't ride, that's totally fine. That is so fine. You'll be placed in a venue that has gondola access. So that means you catch the gondola, I'll put a gondola photo, up to your venue and then down in the afternoon. You don't need a ride. There is some instances through the season where you get ride tested, and then if you're ride tested, you can ride out after work, and you can ride out if for some reason there's an issue with the gondola and you ride. But still, if you can't ride, don't worry, you're getting off the mountain. It's totally fine. The other thing, if you're in food and beverage, is you're in a ski in, ski out location, which means you ride to work. So in that case, you probably catch a chairlift still. You might even catch a gondola. You might catch a gondola up and then ride to your location. It depends on where the venue is on mountain, but you'll be riding. And then for lifties, same sort of thing. It depends on where you're stationed for the day. Usually, I think they get the same places most of the week, but that might not be true. They get mixed up. So some days you might be riding, some days you might not be riding. So it depends. Let's start with if you're on a gondola, because there's a lot to learn. It's not very simple, okay? Generally, if you are catching a gondola to work, there's a certain upload time that you have to be at the bottom. So at the bottom of the gondola, that's where you meet and you guys go up together. It's usually early. So it is early morning, it is rough, but it's good once you get up there. It's really important that you get there on time because that's your job. The other important thing with catching the gondola is making sure that you are dressed and packed appropriately. So it is freaking cold up on the mountain, right? And it gets even colder in the gondolas. A lot of the time when you're catching the gondola up in the morning, because it's so early, they're still doing tests and still getting it running. So it will stop. And even if not, it can still stop at any time or have issues, okay? So just because your normal gondola ride might be 20 minutes or whatever it is, doesn't mean it's going to take that long. It can take longer. So if you were to get stopped for an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, that's happened. You want to be dressed appropriately for that. Like I said, it gets cold. It gets colder than outside because of how it's a little metal box, and it gets really freezing cold. And people can die in a gondola, okay? Genuinely, you can die. So making sure that you're packing your winter jacket, even if it's not that cold of a day, which it normally is, but always packing your winter jacket, making sure you're wearing pants. Do not be rocking up to the gondola in like shorts and like a sweater. You need your winter jacket no matter what. It's really important, ideally, that you pack a backpack with just some odds and ends. So I always took a backpack every day because it's always just good. You just have random stuff. So making sure that you have a water bottle, making sure you have some snacks. This might seem excessive and people go up the gondola without this, but it's just always handy to have. You never know. So have some snacks in your bag just in case you're going to get hungry. Of course, water. Maybe you pack your beanie or your gloves or some hand warmers in your backpack too, so that if the worst were to happen and you were stuck, you have something to warm you up even more. That's really, really, really important. And going down, it depends on your finish time, but as soon as you finish, you get to go down. It's very straightforward. Again, it can stop. There's always weather changes on the mountain. Sometimes you have really crazy days. Sometimes it's windy, and that's what makes it fun working on the mountain. You never know what you're going to get, but they are things that are going to come up. So that's why it's good to plan accordingly. In terms of clothing, you're going to wear your work clothes underneath, and you're going to wear like winter boots or some sort of winter shoes, right? This is the part that I wanted to explain. So you'll wear clothes. If you're back of house, you get to wear chef blacks. So you'll wear whatever clothes, winter jacket. If you're front of house, you wear your front of house uniform underneath, and you're wearing some sort of winter boot, some sort of warm boot, hopefully. Then when you get up to work, you will take those clothes off. If you're back house, you'll take everything off, put chef blacks on, and then both of you will put on your non-slip work shoes. Those shoes are going to stay at work so that you never have to worry about them. They just always live there, whether it's Crocs, whether it's boots, whatever it is. They need to be non-slip because if you're working in a food and beverage venue, they're always there. You never have to worry. Then when you finish work, you take it back off. Same thing. If you want to ride out that day, say you're catching the gondola up, but you're like, yeah, I'm going to ride out after work because I'm going to finish early enough. Then in the morning, you'll wear your ski gear. So say your snowboarding boots, ski boots, whatever, front of house uniform underneath, obviously. Then you come up, you take off your winter gear, take off your ski boots, you can put your work shoes on, which are already there. And then same thing, at the end of the day, swap around. Does that make sense? If you're riding to work, same exact thing. You wear your riding gear to work. Again, clothes underneath, work shoes are up at work. You ride to work, whether you catch the chair and you ride, whatever. Same thing. You need to make sure that you're on time. You're going to ride as a group. It's honestly actually more important if you're riding because they have to ride as a group. You can't ride separately because the mountain is not open yet. So it's really important that they get clearance to ride on certain runs so there's no groomers or whatever around. So you'll get up together, upload together, wherever you meet, depends on your venue. You'll all ride together to work. Again, you'll take your ski boots off, you put your work shoes on, and you're good to go. Then, if you're in a ski in, ski out location, you will ride out together. Again, you'll ride out as a group, most likely. So, especially in the early season, it gets dark really early. So, all of you together at, say, 3:30, whatever it is, will get dressed and you'll ride out together. Because the mountain will be closed, you will ride a designated route. So, again, the clearance is really, really important. Safety is a huge one. You cannot just be riding wherever you want. You have to ride as a group. You will always ride the same run out. So, that can be really fun for people. Personally, I'm not much of a rider, but, it's a really good way to end the day. You get to all ride together. Life's good. A con of that is that obviously it's very physical. So your fitness needs to be good. You need to be a good rider, obviously, because every morning and every afternoon after work, you're going to be riding out. Yes, it's only one run, but it's still important. Maybe I should mention that too. It's just one run. So it's not like you're doing laps. You're just riding out. It can be 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, wherever your venue is. You are not doing jumps and flips and whatever. You're just riding out as a group together. If you get injured, if you get injured, say you break your arm or something while riding on your weekend, then you obviously will not be able to work at that venue anymore, right? Because you can't ride safely. So if that's the case, if you're in a ski in, ski out location and you hurt yourself, don't worry. You still have work. You would just have to work at a different venue where you catch the gondola. Does that make sense? That's very, very common. If you get hurt, do not stress. You still have work and it will be fine. Injury is so common. There are so many pros to working on the mountain. It is beautiful. You have to be out there before everyone else. It's busy. You're literally amongst it. You're amongst what everyone is here to do. They're here to ski. They're here to enjoy the mountain. And that's where you get to be every single day, which is so sick. Obviously, cons. You're waking up early. You're working hard. You're in the cold. You might get stuck on the gondola. It's a longer day, probably. It's a longer day because you're getting down as well, which you get paid for, but it's fine. So there's a lot of good, a lot of bad. Yeah, it's so much fun. So no matter what, whether you're a gondola or non-gondola, it's going to be the best time. And if you get the option to work on the mountain, 100% pick it. Yeah, just a reminder again about wearing appropriate clothing. Yeah, the shoes one. The shoes was really funny. And I was like, I don't understand, because like, do you wear like your winter boots, or do you wear your snowboarding boots, or do you wear your work shoes? Like, I don't understand what shoes you wear to work. Like, how are you carrying all this stuff? I don't understand. So that was a really big one for me. So your work stuff, your work shoes will stay at work. You wear either your winter boots or your snowboarding boots. You'll upload and then you will swap out, and then you will leave them there in your locker, and it will make sense. I swear to God. If you have any more questions, drop them in a comment below, or message me on Instagram if you want. And I have so many videos for you about Whistler and everything. And I have my ebook, like I mentioned. So yeah, I hope that helps. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.